Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please, for the City Council?
This is roll call for the City Council. Council Member, Authority Member Christ.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Smith.
Here.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Just be advised that the mayor is, we're not going to excuse him yet. He's just running a little late. He's going to be here soon. Chair Zato, could you call the Housing Authority meeting, please?
Call to order the Housing Authority meeting. Roll call, please, City Clerk.
Roll call for the Housing Authority. Agency Director Christ.
Present.
Harvey. Present. Mann.
Present.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Here.
Chair Zito.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Tonight we have the invocation from Pastor Carlos Souza from the Salvation Army of Antelope Valley Corps. If everybody could please stand and remain standing for the flag salute.
Thank you. Let's bow our heads and let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you, Lord. We come with gratitude in our hearts. First, we want to say, Father, thank you for allowing us another day of life. Thank you for bringing this good people here, Father, so we can discuss things and decide on things, Father, that are important for the city of Lancaster. I thank you, Lord, for every leader here appointed. I thank you for everyone that in this city that's participating to improve the city of Lancaster. Thank you for many improvements that we've seen around, Father. It's getting better and better. We ask you, Lord, that tonight you not only allow us to make good decisions, but wise ones that comes from you. Give us the wisdom. You said that if we ask for the wisdom, we will grant it, Father. And that's what we ask tonight. We ask that you continue to work and healing our mayor, Father. Continue to be upon his life, helping him out. And everyone here, whatever need that may be, Father, that only you sometimes, Lord, can meet certain needs. We ask you for that. Father, we thank you for everything. And we thank you for the kids also that's standing up, Father, against the sad issue of bullying, Lord. We ask that you continue to get more and more kids involved, learning and appreciate the opportunity not to put anyone down, but to lift them up with a word of encouragement, with accepting love, Lord, and be with them. Continue to be with each one of us, Father. We praise you and we thank you for today's agenda and for everything that's going to be discussed here and decided, Father. We praise you and we thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Councilmember Chris, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please place your hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. I know the first item is near and dear to the mayor's heart, and we'll take a pass on that, Sue, until the mayor gets here. The next one, you have some recognition. I'll come down there and help you out.
Thank you so much.
This is for the recognition of University of Antelope Valley students.
Thank you.
For the Community Appreciation Dinner.
Okay, good evening, everyone. You know, what a great evening to be able to present this acknowledgement, to be able to show our students here, our children, that when you put your mind to something, that you can accomplish anything that you want to. These certificates that the city is presenting today is to acknowledge students from the University of Antelope Valley. They had a community appreciation dinner, and they were able to use the skills and the tools that they received from the chefs and be able to present a 5-star amazing meal to our community. We had community leaders at this dinner. We had entrepreneurs. We had people from corporations that were there just to say thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for believing in the students, and thank you for believing in our community. So we, the city, wanted to acknowledge some of these students and say thank you to them. So we would like to welcome Executive Chef Cecil Humphreys from the university. If you'd like to come up front, please. You know, and this wouldn't be without the executive chef, so we'd like to acknowledge you first to say thank you for the passion that you give all of the students and to your community. We thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and name off the list of students, and when we call your name, if you could please come up and, I think we have a few more chefs too that could help us out here. Chef Adrian and Chef Marcus, if you could also please come up. And Chef Royal, yay. Okay, so when I call you in, if you could please come up, and we're going to be a little bit tight, but we're all about the community, so that's not a problem. Here we go. Thomas Acosta. Elisa Bautista. Whitley Bryant. Vicki Burnick. Brianna Colton, Sarah Combs, James Cook, Nicole, there we go, James Cook. Do those four that I had separate. Okay.
Starts with a C, Ron.
See, I told you we should have Marvin.
Yeah.
This is the full cross, so I don't know where that one goes. That one before.
James, how about you stand next to our vice mayor, and then
Jennifer Delgado.
Nicole Cross, Jennifer Delgado, Christopher England, Eleonora Escamillo. Yay! Taj Giraldi, Ashley Gonzalez, Timothy Holling, thank you, Timothy, Liliana Jennings. What a beautiful name, Liliani. I love that. Is that Hawaiian? Yes. Aloha. Adam Johnson. Ela Johnson. Christine Kirschner. Robert Kuros. Amber Mitchell. Kathleen Munoz. Manuel Ortega. Manuel's here. Yeah, they were part of that four. Brianna Pimentel. Miguel Preciado. That's these ones four too. That's Miguel Preciado. Alexandra Ramos, Hindi Reyes, Carlos Rubio, Dominique San Angelo, Deborah Simon, Lisa Smearman, Brenda Stanley, Aaron Suarez, Billy Taft, is that it? And they are not here, but Stephanie Simon, Samantha Torres, Michelle Taito, Maria Vasquez, and Linda Villegas. That was about 30 chefs, and it really takes an amazing group of team to make such an amazing meal, and we, the city, just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging your community very much.
Right here with the chef. There's nothing you need to do now. So you do that. We need to get the photographer. No, it's just, you guys, you can get as close as you can. You guys just need to tell me how tight you need them. If there's any friends or family, you can come up and take pictures right now. Okay.
So you're at the no bowling Suda.
Get in.
Mark.
Say cheese. Like the cheese. Okay, we're going to take a few of those. Stay in position. One, two,
So,
we got one more member of the press release. One, two, three. Okay, stay there.
So where's Sue did? Not Sue has a presentation for the public. You can ask her to talk about not. She's
Let's get your hands.
well, we have a lot of students having some of the opportunity from the school board.
Mr. Mayor, council members, and city officials. A lot of our students weren't here this evening because they are out working in the field. Okay? If not, they are out, they're home studying, hopefully. As part of our appreciation dinner, one of the groups that we like to recognize during that special evening is the city of Lancaster. And tonight we'd like to present from the University of Antelope Valley a certificate of appreciation, and this is in recognition for supporting the University of Antelope Valley and supporting our students. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sue, come help. For those of you who haven't met her, this is Sue Dell. She's chairman of the Tapestry Commission, which has been doing more work than I think anybody in the city for several months now.
Can we take a nap now?
I just got up from my nap. Why do you think I was late?
I didn't mean with you.
Neither did I. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Smith, and Council. Good evening to all of our teachers, administrators, students, parents, family members, to our Tapestry Commissioners, Vivian Kamori, Dr. Arisha Muhammad, Dr. Mark Marshall, and Dr. Miguel Coronado. We're so glad that you are here because today we're going to celebrate not only the second annual Not in Our Town proclamation signing, but the first annual Bullying Prevention Month for the City of Lancaster.
Yay.
The proclamation signing will not be signed by every student and every other person in the room. You can all be grateful because we have so much support for stopping bullying in our valley that would take longer than even I can stay awake. While I present other topics, I'd like to invite down East Side School District Board President Peggy W. Foster, Lancaster School District Board President Keith Giles, West Side School District Board President Linda Jones, and Antelope Valley Union High School District Board President Danita Wynn. If you'd like to step to the right of our mayor, that'd be great. While they're taking their positions, I'd like to highlight a few things the school districts are doing to prevent bullying in our valley. The Antelope Valley High School District is holding week-long anti-bullying campaigns with classroom door competitions and student presentations and assemblies, all focusing on school-wide awareness of anti-bullying. West Side School District has expanded their Not in Our School program, and this week, each school will have age-appropriate activities for the students, highlighting the themes Day of Darkness, Day of Silence, and Day of Light. Lancaster School District school psychologists are presenting individual classroom and assembly-type programs designed to educate students about bullying, and several schools are participating in the anti-bullying program provided by Jeremiah Project 51, a nonprofit organization dedicated to eliminating bullying one school at a time. East Side School District last Saturday hosted the This Is Our Town Creating Safer Schools Bullying 101 program. Educators, parents, and community members learned how to recognize bullying, examine its characteristics, and found out what they can do as educators to prevent bullying among our students. The program was co-sponsored by the Outreach Center and the California Teachers Association, and the keynote welcome was done by our very own mayor in absentia by videotape. And a panel following was set up by ABC 7's Leo Stallworth, so we had quite a little group of people there. These are just a few highlights of what this month is about. For additional information on the school district's programs and other programs happening in the Antelope Valley, please visit the Tapestry webpage on the City of Lancaster's website. And now I'd like to read the proclamation as the mayor and board presidents are signing it on the table behind us. Whereas schools make substantial contributions to the future of America and to the development of our young people as responsible and productive citizens, and whereas excellence in education is dependent on safe and distinguished environments, and whereas bullying has escalated to unacceptable proportions across the globe, interfering with the emotional, social, and academic development of our youth, and whereas we must safeguard schools for our children and guarantee them an environment that holds promise and security, and whereas it is critical that we acknowledge and heighten awareness about the negative effects of bullying, which may include the risk of teenage suicide, whereas it is the personal responsibility of all citizens of the City of Lancaster to create solutions to prevent bullying, including educators, parents, business owners, civic leaders, and law enforcement personnel. And whereas the City of Lancaster wishes to continue the coalition of anti-bullying schools. This coalition will include the school districts of Antelope Valley Union High Schools, East Side Union, Lancaster, and West Side Union. Now, therefore, be it declared that the community of Lancaster, California will designate the month of November 2012 to anti-bullying activities and stand together as a community united with unwavering resolve that when it comes to bullying, we stand by this pledge and proclaim, "Not in our town." And now I'd like to invite all the school district representatives, the Tapestry Commission, and the council to come forward for photo ops.
And all the kids that are involved, we'd like them to come down also. Okay?
Where do we go? Let's go right here. Let's go right here. Turn around. Come on, turn around. Take away. Okay. Turn around. Back up.
Alright, kindergarten kids. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I missed Anthony. Anthony, smile. Now you're in. 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold on. Somebody's hands in the way. 1, 2, 3. We'll get a picture of you guys outside.
We're shaking this.
Oh, really nice. You have all Guys, don't cover your face.
Yeah, I think we'll do this is what we'll do that.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
I'm just taking it. Look, there's a white phone. Oh, I see Really? The skirt is oh, wait. No one couldn't leave it down. Going into black.
Everybody got it? There we go. Very good.
Well, thank you for staying. We have Gladys Shiloh. Is she here? Come on down. You got your speech ready? She didn't flinch, no. You're a senior, right? That's right. Gladys is the SOAR Student of the Month. SOAR is... To me, SOAR is the jewel of the Antelope Valley. It's the pinnacle. I mean, just the fact that you're there is remarkable in itself. But what that school has achieved in such a short time through students like you is I mean, it's the top 1% of the nation. In a school district that was sort of floundering a little bit. Let's face it. And what they've done is they've said they've shown us what happens when you have parent involvement, committed students, committed teachers all working together, and we now have one of the finest high schools on the planet right here in Lancaster. I mean, think about how magnificent that is. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to China, and I'll be talking to them about we have the best schools, too, because we're trying to get them to come build their factories here. And that's a big thing, and it's because of students like you. And that's why I give this award every month, because I'm just so proud of that school. I can't begin to tell you. It's unbelievable. Now, Gladys has a 4.0 GPA. She was valedictorian. Well, you can't be yet. You will be, right? Yeah. That's how that works. But she's maintained that 4.0 from the beginning of the 9th grade until now, and hopefully it'll continue. She's in the National Management Association Leaderships. She won the Leadership Speech Contest, came in 3rd state. Right. The Tavera Foundation Scholarship recipient for the 11th grade. And now you're the mayor recipient of the Mayor's Scholarship recipient. She was treasurer of the school. She was in the robotics club. She was president of public relations in the 11th grade, a SOAR ambassador in the 11th grade, speech club in the 11th. Well, you could do a speech. 3 minutes. Can you give me 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I really would. Ask Kitty. One time I made her do it. Now, Kitty's a lawyer in my office. One time I said, okay, that's your witness. You had 30 seconds to prepare. She's never forgiven me. Neither is the client. Oh, no, not really. Well, you were there, weren't you, Sue? Were you watching that day? Oh, okay. Okay. Gladys is a first-generation college student, which means in her family she was the first one to go to college, right? Which is true of most of the students at SOAR. She has applied to Stanford, MIT, Princeton, and Yale. Wow. And you're going to get accepted to one of those. I mean, think about that. You really don't know what that means. President Obama knows what it means. President Clinton knows what it means. Romney knows what it meant. You know, we have not had a presidential candidate that didn't go to Yale or Harvard in, 30 years? It's truly amazing. I mean, it means you will rise to the leadership of the nation. But that's also why I voted for Roseanne Barr. She was the only one I was sure didn't go to Yale. Her desire is to become a professional in the medical field and help build a better future for her family. She enjoys being a Sunday school teacher because it allows her to positively impact the children under her charge. She believes teaching them to read and write is important so they too can experience the successes that she has experienced. You are a student of the month, and along with this, you get $1,000 from the Mayor's Scholarship Fund. Where's your parents? And she's here by herself. You got nothing but courage, kid. Let's take a picture. So can we give her a job as an intern? You apply. I mean, she's stellar. Okay. What's the plan? Are we going to break for Ron?
We thought we would present him with the plaque, and then there's an item I believe Vice Mayor Smith wanted to take up as his last vote, and then we'd break.
So, you want to do the plaque now, or you want to do the last item?
Last item first, and then
Why don't we do that? What's the book?
Lancaster Reed, NB1.
The reason we're doing NB1 first is this was Ron's idea. It's a good idea. And so he'll be presenting.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Smith, Council and Authority members. I stand before you tonight recommending implementation of the Lancaster Reads program. As suggested by Council on October 23rd at the Council meeting, the City of Lancaster proposes that we join a nationwide reading program that began in Seattle in 1998 and is currently in practice in about 35 different cities throughout the United States. It basically takes the idea of a localized book club and expands it community-wide. We have the intention of doing it quarterly, so there'll be 4 books a year. We have some ideas towards making it a local author and alternating that with a national author, and when possible, bringing the authors in at the culmination of each quarter to give a presentation of various different community events we would do at the end of each quarter. And we would like to implement this no later than January 1st. So based on that information, we recommend that you implement the Lancaster Reads program tonight.
Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a motion?
I'll move that we implement the Lancaster Reads program.
I'll second that. Let's vote. And it passes unanimously.
If I could say one word on it, I know that the mayor is a very avid reader. I don't know if we're going to let him choose any of the books, or you guys, because they're so intense. They're great books. I read a lot of them that he suggests. But I know that the mayor understands how important it is that reading and bringing in more information in your mind just expands and brings your community together. So it's great. Thank you.
You know, the thing I like to say is, I mean, I don't know how many of you know this, but I don't have a high school education. I do have a lot of degrees after high school, but the high school I don't have. And statistically, I shouldn't be here. But the reason I am here is I read. And once you learn to read, you read to learn. And unfortunately, so many of our children don't have that basic foundation, and so they're adrift. And I don't see any hope for a lot of people until they bridge that gap. We really have to make it a priority in this community that our children can read and read well. And once they have that ability, they pretty much can. I mean, it really is America where anything can happen. But without it, you might as well be in a third world country where they don't have schools. Just another step along the way. Thank you. I also want to tell you, Sue, you've taken that tapestry commission that I really didn't know what would happen with it. And I don't know what hopes and dreams I had for it, if any. But you have done something truly wonderful. And what I see is that's wonderful is happening is that you're getting the community to focus on the fact that if we're going to have a thriving, wonderful place to raise our families, it's going to be determined by how we choose to treat each other. And I kind of like the approach you're taking, which is, you know, we don't care what you think. We don't even care what you feel. But we do care how you behave in regards to one another. And that's really what we're focusing on now, is that we want to treat each other well. And we want everybody to live here, understand that that is expected of them. And if they're unable to do that, well, you don't need me to say it. Somebody accused me of being a bully. Okay, come on down, Ron. Well, I guess some of you are happy that Ron got elected. Some may be unhappy.
Some people posted on their Facebook, "I lost."
Well, at the time I posted that, he had lost. Huh?
Just the county.
I mean, seriously, it's 2012. Don't you think they could count the ballots in one day? I mean,
Yeah, I know, really.
there's something wrong here. But I said nice things. You did. You know, even though we thought maybe it hadn't turned out the way we hoped. Ron has spent most of his adult life working for the city in one way or another. He has been there in the heat of some scorching battles where people not only went after him, they went after his family. You had to endure a lot that most people shouldn't have to endure just to represent their city. But you did. You endured it. You rose up from it. But for Ron's courage at that particular time in our city's history, this would be a different city. Make no mistake. Also, without his creativity, this would be a different city. We wouldn't have the boulevard. The genesis of that idea was Ron. And it changed daily. It like great ideas always do. They have breath in them, and they contract and they expand and they take all different forms. And what we ended up with was something magnificent. And that would not have happened. Make no mistake, that would not have happened if he hadn't been on this city council. And I've always admired that courage you demonstrated. You never gave in to something that was simply wrong. And you stood, you faced the horde. And it was a horde.
Numerous nights.
Numerous nights. This room would fill with people, most of them not living in Lancaster, but enjoying a good fight. Actually, it was a stoning is what it was, wasn't it? Yeah. But you prevailed, and it really shows what courage can bring about. He's now going on to the Assembly where he'll have nothing to do because he will be one of the few Republicans.
Be really reaching across the aisle.
In a sea of Democrats. But, that's kind of his comfort zone, really. I mean, he will face the horde once again and see what he can do with it. And on behalf of the city of Lancaster, it doesn't nearly express what it should. It's not nearly as big as it should be. And I don't think anybody will ever fully get the extent of your contribution. Thank you. Now he's coming running down to grab it when it's already passed. I'm reading this great book. When the ball... Never mind, you guys don't want to know this. You can't... None of us actually see the tennis ball hit the line. When we call a foul, it's impossible to see.
Well, if I could say a few things, I'd like to say. We'll get the council. Yeah. But I was on the Planning Commission with Brian Ludicky and Ken Mann for over 5 years, and I've been here on council for almost 7. And in reality, we could not do what we do up here without the amazing staff, and this has been the most amazing city to work with. And together with our staff and our community, we've built a better city, and it took the whole team that actually did it, and that includes you too. And it's been an honor, and it's an honor to now represent a larger portion of the valley, and it's exciting. But thank you very much.
Okay, everybody up for some cake and stuff like that. Where are we doing that? We're going to take a short break to do that in the lobby, where I guess we're not going to, I guess it's a wake, isn't it? He's leaving us.
A wake and a farewell, because he won't be back afterwards. He has to fly to
Marvin's
Sacramento.
celebrating, but
Yeah, some people's future improved. Positions have improved. We're going to be moving the chairs around. It'll be fun. Everybody will love it. Let's go. Hold up the meeting. Okay, everybody's here. We're back on. I'm going to turn it over to the chair to Ms. Zito. Zeto. How is it again, Kitty?
Zeto.
Zeto. I want everybody to remember that, so you can correct me.
Do we have a motion and a second for the adoption of the Housing Authority regular meeting minutes?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Let's vote.
Okay.
I will turn the meeting over back to Mayor Chairman Paris.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes of the successor agency, power authority, and the financing authority in the city council?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor, voice, aye.
Aye.
Moving on. Consent calendar, anything to be removed?
No, sir.
Do I have any conflicts? City attorney? Okay. Any speaker cards?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve the consent calendar is currently comprised.
Is there a second?
I second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous with Mr. Smith having gone to Sacramento. It's moving on to public hearing item. We already did one, right? No, we didn't? Okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We're in PH1.
PH1. Okay. Any speaker cards? Okay. Want to waive the reading?
Please.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's no speaking cards.
Waive the presentation. Is there a motion?
I'll move we adopt Resolution 12-67.
Is there a second?
I second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous.
We haven't missed any.
Mr. Christ, would you take the vice mayor's seat, please?
We can't do that because our voting machines will be different. I'll
Okay.
take the cards.
Okay. We've already voted that he's the vice mayor, is that right?
Yes, and it's effective upon Ron taking office or resignation, whichever comes first.
Is he going to resign by the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that?
He'll be sworn in his new office by the next meeting.
Okay, so you're the pseudo vice mayor tonight. The vice mayor surrogate, that's what we'll call him.
Oh, joy.
Okay, new business item 2. Any speaker cards? Vice mayor, any speaker cards?
No.
Maybe we should rethink this. What do you think?
I'll say it louder.
This is the Spice Up. I would like to hear this anyway. Who's ever doing the presentation? Let's have it.
Kelvin Tandatonga will be doing the presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, we're here to present the Spice Up Lancaster loan program. It's in response to the City Council's directive for our economic development program to generate additional jobs and to strengthen the local small business community. Staff proposes this new restaurant loan program called Spice Up Lancaster. It's a spinoff of the earlier commercial facade improvement program that was a great success, as we've seen a number of businesses take advantage of that program. Under the Spice Up Lancaster program, the city will offer loans of up to $25,000 to existing restaurants wanting to expand anywhere in the city. So that could be either in the east side, the west side, or in the central core of our city. To be qualified, the restaurants need to be in business at least 10 years and have less than 5 outlets nationwide. The focus here is to have credit-worthy, long-standing businesses and focusing on the local small business owner. The loan proceeds for the program should go towards physical improvements and not for operating capital or for purchasing land or towards lease payments. The terms under this program would be for 5 years, and each loan would be brought to the City Council for its approval. The program is aimed to build synergy by filling vacancies in our commercial shopping areas. Additionally, it would create dining options, again, throughout the city. Certainly would build and increase our sales tax base here at the city, and most importantly, would create jobs for our community, because this is an expansion program and not a relocation program. So we're looking to build, create jobs through expansion. Tonight, staff recommends the City Council approve the Spice Up Lancaster Restaurant loan program and appropriate $100,000 from the general fund balance to account 101-4330-813. And with me tonight also to answer any questions is Shannon Dow, who was the staff person who did a great job in coordinating the commercial facade improvement program, and she'll also be coordinating the Spice Up Lancaster loan program for restaurants. Here to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Now, you said these would be for businesses that have been in the restaurant industry for at least 10 years?
That's correct.
Okay. That's wonderful.
What is the need for it to be brought back to the City Council?
Well, because it is a loan program, we want to make sure that the council has the opportunity to approve those loans. We have a loan committee that will go through the loan documents first and make a recommendation to the City Council. We believe that that approval should be at a council authority versus a staff authority.
Wouldn't that give the appearance of favoritism?
Not necessarily. We'll be going through that criteria at a staff level for that recommendation. We look at the strengths of the locations, the type of synergy. So if we want to avoid having multiple sandwich shops at a shopping center and create more diversity in the location of that shopping center.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. The restaurant industry in general is brutal. It's very difficult. And for us, the City of Lancaster, being able to help in any way, such as this, I think would be very, without a doubt, beneficial to these entrepreneurs. And it's just a small thank you for feeding us. So we appreciate it.
Good. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move we approve MB2.
Second?
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, moving on. NB3.
No speaker cards.
What did I do? Scare everybody off? I'm always so nice and pleasant and, inviting, right?
I see Marvin's getting in the queue.
All right, let's waive the staff report. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution number 12-68.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Let's vote.
Is it reset? It is now.
It's unanimous. Okay, NB4.
No speaker cards.
No speaker cards?
Lou, where's all your people? You know, we should have 30 people here speaking for it. I mean, all right. Let's have a staff report.
Thank you, Mayor Paris, City Council members. Before you today is the consideration of appropriating $300,000 for the acquisition of an operating covenant for Antelope Valley Chevrolet for 10 years in the Lancaster Auto Mall, and to help with their $1.2 million expansion, which you see a picture of there, which we will be breaking ground, or Lou will, very shortly, Lou and Joyce. I'm not going to go over the past and the legal issues, but I am going to touch on the last couple of years because I think it's important. There's a lot of things that you can't predict in the future. You can't predict very well. No one would have predicted that the state would have killed its redevelopment and enterprise zone programs, which help bring jobs. The council that approved this 2 years ago, or started this 2 years ago, we have one new council member, and shortly we'll have a second new council member from that council. It would have been difficult to predict the incredible success of the Lancaster Auto Mall in just 2 short years. Almost a 40% increase in sales, and a lot of that credit goes to the synergy of having AV Chevy there. And candidly, it'd be hard to predict that we would still be embroiled in a lawsuit 2 years later, after a judgment was entered in favor of the city of Lancaster. And I'm not going to gloss over that. Because of those actions, $1 million likely has been wasted by the taxpayers of Lancaster and Palmdale without them voting on it, and 2 businesses. And what did it change? Lancaster and AV Chevy are still operating in the Antelope Valley. And I say the Antelope Valley because there's 80 employees there. If form holds true, half of them live in Lancaster, half work in Palmdale. If form holds true, their paychecks, half are spent in Lancaster, half are spent in Palmdale. The point is that you can't control the future, but you can control who you ride into the future with. We partnered, and this council partnered with Lou and Joyce Gonzalez specifically because they can deal with uncertainty, and specifically because they can thrive in that environment. I remember the time that I was in court the first time this came up, and we had an injunction by the original judge on this, and the judge looked at us and said, AV Chevy can move, but deal's off. So if they want to move, they can move, deal's off. And we came out of the court and hanging our heads a little bit, and I looked over, and Lou was bouncing off the walls, excited. And I'm thinking, was he in the same courtroom as I was? And he came to all of us, he said, this is great. Judge just said, we can move, we can start our business, let's go. And for 2 years, that's what Lou and Joyce have done. They've grown their business from 35 to 80 employees. And what's instructive is their employee base stayed with them when they didn't have a product to sell. They stayed with them because they believe in Lou and Joyce. They're going to continue to grow their business and stay in the city of Lancaster and support the entire Antelope Valley. As I said, they're breaking ground on a $1.2 million remodel and expansion. They have kept their word to their customers, their employees, and to the Antelope Valley. And I'm proud to work for a council that keeps its word. The original injunction, after the judgment was entered in favor of Lancaster, said specifically that the city was enjoined from entering any kind of financial assistance for 2 years. That ended on November 10th, 2012. This council is directed, and we're taking this up 3 days later, November 13th, 2012. We have Lou and Joyce are here to support this, and I proudly stand before you and say this is the right partnership, and it has benefited and will continue to benefit the entire Antelope Valley.
Thank you. I don't get that lawsuit. I mean, they got the power plant. What more do they want? Sorry, inside joke. I really should. Inside joke. I really shouldn't make those at council meetings. Okay. Is there a motion? Lou, did you want to speak?
Yeah, that's...
Mr. Mayor and council members, my wife and I want to thank everyone for your support, and we hope that you'll support our request. Thank you, City Manager Bozigian and Deputy City Manager Cottle, for helping us on this and working together. And something else I want to say is I'm very proud to be in a community. I had no idea what was going to be discussed early on in this council meeting about the bullying, but I can tell you that I'm very proud to be a business in this community and a resident of the Antelope Valley, and knowing that you were able to bring this many kids and educators in here, because I understand the value of education, and you said it very well, Mayor Paris, that we need to start with reading, and a lot of our kids don't even get that chance if they're bullied. So congratulations, and thank you for doing that, and whatever you can do for me would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to make one for the record. The deal and everything is with AV Chevrolet, but I want it for the record that the payment is actually to Mr. Gonzalez on behalf of AV Chevrolet when you appropriate the funds.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the acquisition of the operating covenant with Antelope Valley Chevrolet.
I second.
Let's vote. And it's unanimous, and I'm signing it now. See, I do it on camera, so I don't have to go to a deposition to say I did it. Okay, moving on. Moving on to the council agenda. Michelle Webb on CA item number 1.
No, Michelle Webb.
Has she left? Okay. All right. I'm nominating Cassandra Harvey to fill Mr. Smith's vacancy on the council. She will stand for election at the regularly appointed time, which I guess would be
April of 2014.
April of 2014. She will serve as a council member until that time. And we can vote on it now, and she takes the seat upon Mr. Smith's resignation, right?
Yeah, it would be, the appointment would become effective upon the effective date of his resignation, which I understand to be the same day as he is sworn in as the assemblyman.
Okay, great. Is there a motion to accept the nomination?
So moved.
I think you have to make the motion, and you...
Is that how it works?
No, he made the nomination.
He made the nomination, so now it's just approving the nomination.
So he has to second it.
No, I made.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Let's vote. And it's unanimous. Next council person. Thank you. Yeah, we can clap. This is actually rather historic. You know, I'm proud of it. That's good. CA2, I'm nominating Sandy Smith. Everybody knows Sandy. Of course, how are you going to have time to do anything more? Well, you run American Cancer, you're on the Fair Board, you're on the Planning Commission, anything else? Am I missing anything?
Rotary.
She's a female.
But she's a female.
She's a female. You're very welcome.
I feel harassed.
There's plenty of...
You know, I think that this city has made a mistake allowing this council to become one gender. and it's, it's gone, it's ebbed and flowed. But everything I've seen and everything I read is you really need this. Both, you need diversity in every way. And look what's happening to the city as a result. I mean, it's just nothing but pluses. I'm just thrilled. Now, if I could just get some men to work as hard as you. All of them. Well, going to meetings and yelling at people, Marvin, is not working.
So you don't have a job?
No, that is my job. All right. I nominate Sandy Smith. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
All in favor? Good. And I guess I guess there's a message here for women who want to get involved in this.
Mr. Mayor, on that last appointment, that also is subject to the resignation of it because she's still on the board for the next meeting on the 20th.
Okay.
So it would take
listen,
effect December 3rd.
It's 2-3 weeks. I mean, Ron can't screw up that bad in that little bit of time. Okay. Yeah,
But we do need her participation next week
Right.
on the oversight board.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Christ, item number 3.
Well, with all the changes that we've gone through and with the state, with the redevelopment and everything, and sitting up here, I've learned a lot. Like last week, I learned a lot from Cassandra during the solar thing from the Planning Commission. I learned a lot from the Deputy Mayor. If we could reorganize those 2 slots as far as the Housing Authority, maybe leave the Housing Authority people, but have a Deputy Mayor sit up here, and then have another spot from the Planning Commission. So if we had a member, maybe the chairman or his designee from the Planning Commission that we could ask questions to and we could get direct representation.
I like that. The idea being that instead of it just being a place where we come and vote, we actually have more voices.
More discussion. I think it's important that we have more discussion. Ms. Harvey gave me insight on what was taking place and what took place during the Planning Commission meeting with the solar. So it was very good, and I think that we should always have the ability to tap into the resources.
Yeah, kind of like you were saying, Mary, changing the energy, and like you're saying, having a discussion. That'd be nice to have someone here to ask those questions too, and really get the facts before we vote. It would be nice.
And before anyone gets excited, I'm not saying they should vote. I'm just saying that we should have them up here with us to tap into their knowledge.
Right. And some cities have the city attorney sitting up here.
Yeah.
Some of them, I mean, it's not uncommon to have other people sit up here. So what we would have is we would have the deputy mayor, we would have the council, the mayor, and the deputy mayor, and a designee from the Planning Commission. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And that's what would comprise this. And if we have anything we have to move on the Housing Authority, then we will just get up and just swap out seats if we have to. Right?
We still have 4 members. 3 members.
We can
Anyway,
either
it'll
appoint
work.
one of the 2 members that abstained or appoint the member from the Planning Commission.
Okay, good. We'll leave it to the Planning Commission who they send?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Do we need a motion?
It's for agenda because you don't need to vote
I guess
on
we
it.
don't need a motion.
Right. You could, as running the meeting, you can,
I can do that, right?
yes.
Ah, it's good to be king.
It has its been.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. Okay, council reports. Mr. Mann, sanitation.
Yeah, I guess it's official now, after the last meeting, that I am now the alternate for the sewage water.
Could you be more specific?
You got it. And obviously, the last meeting, besides voting me in as the alternate, we took care of rudimentary items from a standpoint of expenses. And then I did bring forth that at this next meeting, I'll present some material I picked up at the Global Energy Award on a way to potentially maybe reduce the cost at the facility here in Lancaster. So that's pretty much it.
You sound like you went to a funeral. Let's have some energy here. What's good's happening?
So other than that, and then the mayor to the south said that maybe we ought to change the guard and appoint somebody from the city of Lancaster as the administrative chair. So I just thought I'd just pass that along. That was brought up at the meeting.
So are you going to be the chair?
I just listened, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at this next meeting on Thursday.
All right, good. Good. Okay. Anything else? Mr. Christ.
The AVTA did win a national award for a small transit authority, and I want to point out that a couple of years ago it was in turmoil, and we took control of it, and it's much better off now. The AVA QMD gave a grant to the Antelope Valley College for electric vehicles, which is very good. We're also going to vote at the next board meeting requesting that there be some electric charging stations throughout the entire community. So we're going to take nominations from the community to put those in different places, maybe at their transit, Palmdale's Transit Authority, different locations where there's people can come in and plug in their electric vehicles. So everything's going good. We're using the money properly.
Are we moving in the right direction in regards to the electric buses?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Terrific. I'm going to have to move some people around on those sanitation, on ABTA,
Yeah, I was going to
air quality, right?
Yeah, we're going to bring that back at your next meeting, council reorganization. With there's not that many to move, but yes, and you may want to reconsider appointments too.
I'm wondering if I can put some community members on.
On each of the items, it lists which can be community members and which have to be elected officials. So, yeah, we can get that to you early so you can take a look at that.
All right, I'd like that disseminated to the council so they can decide what they want to be on and what they really don't have a burning desire to be on, in which case we could, spread it out more. The goal of the next 3 years is to empower more and more of the community and decentralize as much as we can from here, is what I hope to do. I think vibrant communities require that we give up some control. And the more ways we can find to do that, but at the same time have an oversight of it, I think the better off we are. So you might want to keep that in mind, and so we can discuss it as that progresses. All right? Sure. It seems like this is a good time to talk about, what the vision is, since we're now reorganizing. And I think we need to get a lot more involved in the health of the community, meaning the medical health of the community. That means we have to get more involved with the hospital, more involved with the medical community itself. But we have got to fix this deplorable mortality rate we have, and we have to do it quickly. So that certainly is going to be one of the goals I have. And I think that now that we know what we can do in regards to SOAR, we should have a lot more influence in the schools to make that happen. Up until now, all of those areas have been separate spheres of whatever, and I think we ought to start bringing them together. This is our city. We should treat it as a city, and we should have more people involved in making it thrive. So it'll be an interesting couple years. Put on your helmets, put on your gun belts. There's going to be resistance, okay? But at the end, I think it's going to be a lot better off for everybody. Okay, no action on the Lancaster Successor Agency, no action on the Financing Authority, no action on the Power Authority. City Manager, any announcements?
Just one. I'd like to acknowledge Brenda Gamlowski, who has worked with the Tapestry Commission a lot over the last year or so, and I'd like to echo from staff's perspective what the mayor said. It's been a true joy to work with people that challenge you and push you and even get you to realize things you didn't realize about your own beliefs and what's possible. So Brenda's done an amazing job with that group.
Where are we on Shop More Lancaster?
You will see it go out tomorrow on email blast. You'll see billboards in the coming week, and then you'll see it expand after that, too. We also have some work that, and I don't have it with me, that we're doing with the Downtown Business Association in terms of promotion for shopping all throughout the Christmas season. So you should see it up tomorrow.
Great, thank you. City Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for you to address the City Council on any items that are not on the agenda. You'll find speaker cards at the back of the council chambers. We ask that you fill them out completely and as concisely as possible so that if the City Council, City Manager, and City staff need to get in touch with you, they will have your information. As much as we appreciate your request to make comments before your 3 minutes begin, please understand your time begins when your name is announced. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. When you approach the podium, you'll see 3 lights. The green light comes on when your time begins. The yellow light comes on when you have 30 seconds remaining, and the red light comes on when your time is up. We ask that you be considerate of the allotted time to allow other speakers to have their 3 minutes as well. Following this procedure will allow for a smooth and timely process for the meeting, and we do appreciate your cooperation. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter will be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Anita Smith. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. First of all, I want to say it's a real pleasure to finally meet you. I'll make this quick. I also want to thank you because I had a work-related incident. This is part of what I talk about. A work-related incident. I was represented by one of your law firms, and I was given a substantial amount of thank you for that. As a result of that, I ended up homeless because the disability ran out. I ended up in the shelter, and I was just coming out of the shelter when you did the transition from Catholic Charities to Race Resources. And I would like to proudly stand here and say that me and my daughter as well was a real success story. She did become pregnant. She attended regular school at AV High. She's now going to Dominguez University for the medical field. That I like to share with you. I did wisely with the money that I was granted from my work incident, but I'm here to address an issue that has me in a nightmare. I'm even embarrassed about my appearance. I purchased a car from Twins Auto Dealer. I hit a pole. I took the car to him. He referred me to an auto dealer. The insurance company that I pay to sent a check to the auto dealer in my name as well. He called, and I still have the voice from the machine, demanding that they put the check in his name. Upon receiving the check, he took me to his bank, and I think I'm here at the perfect time for what I would say torting and bullying. He pocketed $450 of this money. After the ratting and the raving, he has not given it back. He pocketed the money before I even took the car to have the car prepared. Because of this, I didn't trust his credibility or his judgment, so I chose to have my car fixed for someone else. I have a police report where he locked me in the gate because, yes, I made a scene about this. I paid to that insurance company any money or funding which goes to repair the vehicle. He feels that it's because he's the lien holder, he's entitled to this. I'm hoping I'm in the right place to make this publicly known, because if he's taking my insurance money and pocketing, then there's several other people in our community that I'm sure he's done this too. So I'm trying to make this aware. I'm almost like desperate for answers, desperate for help, and making his business known as to what he's doing. I went back here today. I tried to talk to him. I said, look, I still need more money that the insurance company provided me. I look at it as if I put my money into an insurance company, it's like a savings. If I create damage to a vehicle, that money is given to me to repair the vehicle, not to the car lender. And I paid, so far I paid $9,600 for the car. I only owe him less than $5,000, but he just feels that he needs to take control of the situation. Went back today, he cursed me, his son cursed me, and from my experience of what I know from you, Mr. Paris, you just stated, you believe in fair business. Thank you.
Have somebody look into that. I want it looked in criminally, and then I also want code enforcement to look in it as the business licensing. Let's see what's going on there, all right? If it checks out, let's make them fix it, all right? I've given auto bodies shops a lot of checks over the years. I've never heard of it being made out to them. Yeah. See what we can do, okay? Great, thank you. We'll look into it. All right, Jennifer Foe? Is that
Fox, actually.
Fox?
Yes.
Faw.
Fox.
Fox. Oh, you
Fox.
pronounced the
It's-
X.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
we say
good.
Fox. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Jennifer Fox. I was raised in Lancaster, and I'm a proud graduate of Quartz Hill High School. I recently returned to the Antelope Valley at the end of last year after having served with the USO in Kuwait and Iraq for the last 3.5 years. Since returning, I've attended a number of events sponsored by the city and by local organizations honoring our veterans, and I'm overwhelmed by the patriotism and support to our military heroes by our local community. I attended the Celebrate America event on the Boulevard on October 13th. It was a wonderful display of public spirit for our military and our veterans. However, I was extremely disappointed by the inappropriate display of our American flag, which I have a picture of here. It hung limply above the street at the corners of Ehrlich and the Boulevard. It was the first thing that I noticed as I approached the celebrations. I sought out our city manager, Mr. Bozigian, at the event and brought this to his attention. He stated that it could not be done, nothing could be done about it that evening, but that it would be corrected in the future. I was dismayed to learn then from some of our local veterans that the flag was displayed in the same manner at our recent Veterans Day parade. My experience working with the military taught me proper flag displaying etiquette, and I would expect that our local elected officials would have the knowledge of the basic standards for displaying the flag. I have with me copies of guidelines for displaying the flag published on the website for the Department of Veterans Affairs for each of you, and I've highlighted on page 2 the proper customs for displaying the American flag over streets. As the boulevard runs east to west, the flag should be suspended with the Union or the stars to the north. And this can be done by suspending the flag from 2 cranes or from 1 crane using a spreader bar. And I've brought pictures along for an example for that. The continued unbefitting display of our national symbol is an insult to our citizens, and especially to those who have served our nation. I appeal to you to take the time to assure that our flag is properly displayed at all future events, and I thank you for the opportunity to address this concern. Bring these forward.
Thank you. Hand them to the city attorney, if you would. So, did we find out why that happened in the first place?
My understanding is it has to be anchored in 2 places, and the wind at that event, there was no wind, so it did look limp. We can do a better job of that, which we will. The Veterans Parade and I did speak to Ms. Fox. The Veterans Parade was not an event that we did, but I can assure you that in all future city events, we'll have a spreader and something that'll be more appropriate. But the rule is anchored in 2 spots.
So when another organization uses the city streets to do an event, do we inspect it at all?
We have not in the past done, they give us information for the parade, what they're going to do, the parameters, but we haven't looked at the displays or the floats or whatever in the parade. We can certainly do that in the future if there's any, and we can even ask if a flag will be displayed.
Let's do that.
Okay.
That should fix it. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, is that it? Good. No closed session?
No closed session.
We're winning all the lawsuits, it looks like, right?
For this week?
I hear Allison did a magnificent job before the 9th
Yes.
and the prayer initiative.
Yeah, she really did do a magnificent job at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and if anybody is interested in hearing the oral part of it, there's no video of it, but you can listen to it orally to the arguments that are being made, and I think it might be worthwhile for people that are interested to listen to
Let's
that.
put it on the website.
I think we'll put a link on the city's website to that. We had a panel that was well prepared for the oral argument, which is sometimes rare at a court of appeals. In this case, our initial thought was that we drew a bad panel. We had the one judge who had previously written an opinion concluding that under God and the Pledge of Allegiance was a violation of the First Amendment. That decision was later overturned, but we did have him as one of the panelists, and based on the questions I heard, and it's never 100% or even 50% that you can figure out based on their questions where they're going, but it sure seemed to me that they were leaning very heavily in our favor. So, we can't predict the outcome yet, and they can take as long as they wish to write the opinion, but I thought it was really a good result. I was extremely pleased with the outcome.
We'll keep praying till they do.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Eto.
The Housing Authority meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, December 11, 2012 at 5 p.m.
Thank you. At this time of Thanksgiving, we pause to count our blessings in the freedom of this great country in which we live. This city has achieved so much and looks forward to achieving even more in the years to come. We're deeply thankful and wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. We will not re-adjourn until Tuesday, December 11, 2012 at 5 p.m. And I would tell Carol I'm coming home, but she has abandoned me for the week.